Get a bit of the rice on top.
Scooped over.
Scooped over.
What the? Apparently word around town is Americans can't eat right. Huh? And I am absolutely included in that conversation because of course I'm American. I have a story of my own I'd like to share with you guys before we get into the differences between American and European dining etiquette, because that is definitely what this video is about. When I was in Germany a few years ago, I went to München-Gladbach with a good friend of mine. He was showing me around and we wound up eating at this breakfast establishment. In fact, let me show you a clip and highlight exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to dining etiquette. So we're inside this restaurant and stuff like that, right? I'm eating different assortments of bread and a bunch of other stuff. I think we had like a salmon platter and some other stuff or whatever, but there were a variety of utensils. So I wound up doing the diabolical. First of all, look at how divine that bread is. The way I eat this was absolutely abysmal, and I didn't realize that until later. So of course that's me showing off the food and whatnot. I didn't realize there was a particular way you needed to hold your utensils and even use your utensils and whatnot. I just know that a spoon's for scooping stuff and a fork's for poking at stuff. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Look at this. You see the butter that I have on the knife and this baby spoon. I was genuinely confused as far as what to do and how to use these things and whatnot. Yes, I know how to use a spoon and fork. I've used them my entire life, but I didn't know that the different size spoon and forks were for different things. Honestly, I eat a lot, so I use the biggest spoon for literally everything. You see that gigantic spoon in my hand? Even this fork, right? Like, I didn't know that they were designated for different things. Now, all of those things were supposed to go on the bread. I did not know that. I thought those were just things you ate separately. But again, my comment section was lighting me up, and I actually have a visual to show you guys that I was absolutely cooked when it came to using my utensils. In fact, everybody at the restaurant stopped to stare at how diabolical my eating habits were at this restaurant. So apparently throughout Europe, a lot of people are taught dining etiquette. There's like classes for it and stuff, right? I didn't know that. In America, not very common. Maybe some households teach it, typically wealthier households, but for the most part, people just eat how they eat. And I didn't realize we ate so poorly. So we're going to be diving into this video. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. If you guys are returning viewers, welcome back. I know we are able to be spotted throughout Europe just off of how we eat, apparently. If you guys have witnessed one of us Americans eat like an absolute troglodyte, let me know in the comments down below what that experience looked like. And also, what are some dining etiquette tips you can give your boy? Because to this day, I might not have it all down pat. I've learned a little bit, but maybe not enough. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few other individuals throughout Europe that have identified several Americans and our dining etiquette fails. And then of course some Americans that have learned some different things about dining etiquette throughout Europe. But of course, before we get started, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe if you haven't already.
Oh hey, there's an American tourist group over there. They picked a good restaurant. I think they like it here. How do you know they're American? Did you hear them talk? Nee, I can tell by the way they're eating. Now of course this difference doesn't apply to all Americans and all Europeans, but it's definitely a cultural difference that's pretty widespread, yet super subtle and not something that a lot of people are aware of. Let's take a look at this Instagram story of Ben, my American boyfriend, and me, a German, at brunch. This was his plate as he was eating, and this was me eating my pancake. Can you spot the difference? Let's do an... Listen.
Oh my God. Listen, I know at the end of the day, we're all just trying to enjoy our food, man. I know the dining etiquette thing has people bent out of shape sometimes, you know what I mean? At least most Americans are like, yo, we just want to enjoy our food, you know? But yeah, dining etiquette is absolutely huge depending on where you go. And it's crazy because I have many a story. I love trying to find high-end restaurants to try like different foods and stuff. One of my favorite pastimes, of course, is finding the best of insert your favorite food here. So I've actually gone on this complete expedition, no matter where I travel, to find the location that has the best steak, right? And I will go to these restaurants dressed in a tracksuit and I will eat like an absolute troglodyte. I'll like, you know, bite into the steak with my bare hands if I have to. Typically towards the end of my meal when there's like extra meat on the bone. I know it's not the right thing to do, but I paid an arm and leg and a goat sacrifice for this meal, so I want to enjoy every little bit of it, even if I look like a clown eating. So of course, I'm immediately able to be spotted by everybody and their pet cat. Oh, there's that wild American over there with the wonky headband eating like an absolute caveman. So I get it. This is insane.
Another example with something savory. Ben goes ahead and cuts up a piece of the steak, knife in his right hand, fork in the left. Then he puts the knife down, switches the fork to his right hand.
Okay, I do the same thing. Okay, so somebody called this out. My friend was talking to me about this, right? He said, and mind you, so me and my friend were at the steak restaurant and he's like, dude, one of my buddies was telling me that it's crazy how Americans eat because because you guys will cut your steak with your right hand and then switch your fork from your left hand to your right hand to also eat it. And I'm like, yeah, to me it makes sense because it's your dominant hand, right? So your dominant hand is going to be the most efficient when cutting a piece of steak. And then of course you switch the fork from your non-dominant hand to your dominant hand and you continue eating with that hand. And mind you, while he's telling this story, I'm physically doing it. I'm cutting my steak, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And then he's watching my hands, right? And I switch my fork on over to my dominant hand and I'm eating and I'm like, oh my God, I just did it. I did it. I did the thing. I did the thing. Oh my God. This is crazy in real time. This is exactly what happened right here. This is crazy.
And eats the piece with just the
It makes
fork.
sense
Then
to
he
me.
moves the fork over again, picks up his knife,
Yes.
cuts, switches again, and eats. This is often
Yeah, I think that's efficient. I think it's efficient, man. It's comfortable.
referred to as the zigzag method. I, on the
Yeah.
other hand, keep the knife in my right hand the entire time. I cut off a piece and then put it in my mouth right away, keeping my
can't.
fork in the left hand like this.
I can't.
This isn't something that's
I cannot eat with my left hand. I eat with my left hand. You know how unstable my left hand is? I can barely type with this hand. Like, it's useful for things, but my dominant hand is like my primary things I do with this hand, right? My left hand, I don't know, I can hold things. It's like a placeholder. I'm like, cool, I can put things here, cool, whatever. But like my right hand, I've used my right hand my entire life. I've used my left hand too, but like never to eat something. It just feels weird. It's like writing with your left hand. I know we have people that are watching this video that know how to write with their left hand, and I've trained myself to write with both hands actually, so technically I can too. It just feels weird to me. You know what I mean? It just feels weird. So let me know in the comments down below how you guys typically eat. Do you guys have this proper dining etiquette where you keep one utensil in one hand the entirety of the meal and the other utensil in the other hand for the entirety of the meal? Or do you switch them around to use the zigzag method? Like, you know, your boy. I be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Guilty. Guilty.
exclusive to Germans, but it's how people eat pretty much all over Europe. Fact is, Americans adopted this fancy habit from the French in the 19th century, right when the French themselves were about to drop it. Today, we differentiate between the American style of eating and the European, or also called continental style. Oh, hey!
That is insane. Okay, Philly from Germany, amazing channel. If you guys have not subscribed to her, please do. Amazing content and very informative. So definitely dissects this to a T. I'm telling you, anecdotal experience, I do this all the time to this day. I just, for me, when I enjoy food, I just want to enjoy food the way I want to enjoy food. I don't care if anybody's watching me. People are, you know, snarling and, ugh, why do you eat like that? Now, I showed you guys, I opened up this video with a little incident with me eating in a restaurant and everybody was glued on me. Now, you guys didn't get to see the reactions of other people staring at me because I didn't want to record people without their consent, but people were hitting me with what it is. They're like, hey, what going on? What's he doing? And mainly because a lot of what I was eating were toppings that were supposed to go on the bread that I got, but I did not put two and two together. And my friend told me after I was done eating everything, I mean, he was in awe. He didn't say almost anything while I was eating. And he's like, I've never seen that before. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm eating my food. He's like, dude, that was supposed to go on the bread. And also, the way you use those utensils is diabolical. They don't teach you dining etiquette in America? I'm like, no, they teach me this is a fork, this is a spoon. Eat however you want. Anyways, let's look at these comments, man. Our first comment says, as a resident of the American Southeast, I've never seen or heard of anyone using the zigzag method. To be honest, it looks bizarre and inefficient. You've never heard of the American zigzag method, and you live in the American Southeast. Be surprised how common this technique is. I'm telling you. After that was brought up to me, I paid attention to how other people ate and stuff like that, particularly how other Americans ate, and I was like, they do the same thing for the most part. Now, for people who are like conscientious of their dining etiquette, nah, they don't do that, but quite a bit of Americans that do that. And I was like, I'm not alone. Our next comment says, I'm American. I use my left hand for the knife and my right for the fork. No zigzag. I'm right-handed. That is awesome because I could never do that. I could never just keep one utensil in my hand for the entirety of the meal and the other exclusively dedicated to the other utensil for the entirety of the meal. I just can't. I can't, bro. I like switching things around a little bit. The zigzag method is God tier. Love it. I absolutely love it. Does it look aesthetic? No, but I'm trying to eat. I'm not trying to look aesthetic when I'm eating my food. I'll look like a homunculus eating my food. You know what I mean? I've lived in the US all my life and I've never seen anybody use the zigzag method. I think we found the most sophisticated selection of Americans in this comment section, but I'm not surprised. That is awesome. You haven't met me yet.
I want to talk to the first American who decided that we weren't going to be switching our forks when eating. In America, we always use our fork in our right hand. So if you're ever eating, you eat with your fork in your right hand if you're right-handed. But when you're cutting, you also want to cut with your right hand. And so basically, we're constantly doing a switch off of like eating and switching and eating and switching. In Europe, that is not a thing. Like the fork is always in the left hand and you usually use it like face down. Yeah. Because when I'm in Europe and I'm with my boyfriend's family and we're all eating at a table, it's like kind of awkward because I'm constantly switching hands. And I'm trying to like retrain myself on how to eat in addition to also speaking French. And I really feel like I'm in my toddler era right now. Like this is just like so humbling. But why do Americans, are we like the only people who do that? And why did we not get on board with the Euro culture of just like always keeping it in both hands? Very interested from a confused American.
Yeah, these are very valid questions, and I have the same question. Why did we start doing this, and why haven't we switched over to the European method? All I can say as my own answer is it's just the most convenient way to eat, right? It's the same way as like, I know this is different, but also kind of similar, right? When you use your dominant hand for many things, like writing, for instance, how many times have you switched from your right hand to your left hand? Probably never, right? Unless you're one of those people that can write with both hands and it's convenient for you, just as convenient to write with your left hand as it is for your right. But when you're eating, I feel like it's very similar. It's more convenient to use your dominant hand for eating and cutting and doing whatever task while you are eating than it is to use your non-dominant hand. So I think that's why most Americans do it. And obviously we don't have like a whole dining etiquette course and stuff, and it's not something that's emphasized in many households, so people just kind of eat however they want to eat. But I don't know, this is a very good like question, because I mean, for you guys, what do you guys have for that? Like, why do you think we eat the way we eat? Because I'm telling you, after this video, I'm not switching up how I've been eating. I tried the fork down method and the proper dining etiquette thing for a little bit, and I didn't like it. I'm like, bro, like, why am I doing this? Like, who am I trying to impress? I'm just trying to eat, bro. And if I look like a caveman doing it, womp womp. The only time I saw someone using cutlery the American way was when a friend of mine dislocated his left shoulder. That's a bit intense. That's a bit intense. It took him dislocating his shoulder to eat the American way. Well, I get it, because obviously the arm that's dislocated, you don't want to move it too much. So now you have to do the zigzag method. Yes. We're not Europe. We can do it our way. Others eat with chopsticks, some with no utensils. Let's eat our way. Amen. What's wrong with eating the way we eat, man? It's not a big deal, but it is a little hard to look at, you know, you're like, because I will say, I think that's why we get the American stereotypes, right? Like in a previous video, I reacted to this individual saying, oh my God, why do Americans get so much flack? People always say dumb Americans or uncivilized Americans, this American that, this American that. Well, it's because of how we carry ourselves versus how the rest of the world carries themselves, right? Now, obviously, different cultures are going to have their different things, but unanimously there are things that stretch far and wide that just have not made its way to America, or maybe it tried to at some point and most Americans are like, nah fam, we're not using that shit. Why is the way we do it seen as wrong? Why is Euroculture right? That's a good question. I have no idea. Honestly, maybe it's just general dining etiquette in general, but that would be Euroculture, right? So maybe it's not a matter of who's right or wrong. It's just what you're used to seeing versus what you're not used to seeing. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments down below what you think. Do you think Euroculture dictates what correct versus incorrect dining culture is, or does it vary based on where you are? Because I mean, yeah, very good point from an earlier comment. Some people use chopsticks, some people use no hands. Like, are they all wrong for eating the way that they eat? I mean, that's a very valid point. As long as you're getting the food from point A to point B, which is your mouth, it should be fine.
To eat like a proper American, fork goes in the right hand, stab your food.
Yeah.
And then eat.
Yeah, there you go.
Easy.
Too easy.
Fork in left hand, knife in the right. We basically choose which part of the food that we're going to eat.
Yeah.
If it's too big,
A nice little proper.
cut it up. Get a bit of the rice on top,
Scooped over.
scooped over
What
the
the
arch of the fork,
freak?
and then
That is so much effort.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why I'm scooping all this food onto the back of an upside down fork.
That's what I'm saying.
The rice isn't staying on.
Why is your fork upside down, Chief? Now I get it. For the most part, your fork's upside down to hold the food down that you're cutting, right? That's too much work, brother. That's too much work. Make it easy. There's efficient ways to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least for me, the zigzag method is efficient. It's simple. I don't gotta think about it. I just do it. But I think in the same breath, the dining etiquette that you see throughout Europe, it's very simple and they don't have to think about it either. So it could go either way, right? But like, I don't know. I think the zigzag method is nice, man. It's nice. I like it.
There, at least we can go out to a restaurant together.
We can.
We won't embarrass each other because
Definitely.
we'll be eating the same.
But I'm busy, sorry, so I won't be.
Oh man, well, we absolutely need to dive into these comments. Not all Americans eat this way, but I'll never understand using the back of a fork, LOL. I didn't understand that either, but I kind of do because again, holding your food down while you cut it, I get that. Because it would be inefficient to try to hold your food down with the fork facing up. Like, that's kind of strange. But outside of that, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I really don't know. That is diabolical work for how most Europeans eat, in my opinion. I'm just like, wow, okay. But again, eat how you eat. You know what I'm saying? Again, as long as you're able to nourish yourself, eat however you want to eat. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but it's obviously made waves on the internet. So we are here to discuss it. In the comments down below, what is the most diabolical thing you've seen from one of us Americans when it came to eating at a restaurant or even eating over at your place and stuff, sharing a meal? Did you notice any dining trends that were completely different than how you guys eat? Let me know in those comments. It makes you eat slower, therefore you don't overeat. This is why Americans are so fat. They just shovel it in. Listen, we are efficient when it comes to eating our food. So yes, of course, there's like a 20-step process to eating in Europe. And yeah, you're burning calories while you're eating your food. We keep it simple, man. Fork to food, food to mouth. Boom. You know what I mean? If we had an eating competition, man, our food will be gone in 2 to 5 milliseconds. But it looks aesthetic the way that Europeans decide to eat their food. It's very like, you know, divine and stuff. But I don't know. I just feel like the whole purpose of eating a meal is to eat the meal. You know what I mean? Not show off. Yeah, but he's holding the fork wrong still. Holding the fork wrong is crazy. There's a specific way we're supposed to hold a fork now. Like, I can't hold it like this. I can't hold it like a pitchfork. Oh my, do I have to hold it like a pencil or something? Like, how do you hold a fork? I'm telling you, I'm so cooked, it's crazy. I have zero dining etiquette. I eat like a caveman.
People eat differently than Americans, and so does the rest of the world. We are the only people that switch. We cut, we like then switch and then take the bite. So I have literally been sitting here practicing eating my steak like a British person or a European. So this is how you do it, from what I'm understanding. Please critique me, actually. I would rather you guys critique me here than go to a nice dinner and someone's thinking, why is she eating like this? This is actually so much more functional, I'm realizing. But I'm just eating a piece of steak right now. What I'm confused about is if I had rice or something here, from my understanding, instead of turning your fork over and like scooping up the rice, you're supposed to leave it like this and then do it like this? I feel like that's gonna make a mess.
Yeah. Also,
You know?
I feel like a lot of it's gonna fall off the fork. Like when you scoop the rice on the back side of the fork, how does that hold the rice? There's a slope on the fork. It just fall right off. Like it doesn't seem efficient. Like the fork curves upwards, so you could just turn the fork over and then boom. I can't do that. I cannot do that. Like, or correction, I refuse to do that. I will enjoy eating in my caveman ways. I definitely think to me it's more efficient. It's at least more comfortable. Because this, brother, it is not now. Now, part of it seems pretty convenient as far as like piecing apart the steak, but still, I want to take big ass bites and like, you know, just get into it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. This seems too complicated, bro.
Your fork stays like this the entire time. Like, great for steak or meat or whatever.
Yeah.
But rice
Yeah,
or
so
quinoa?
that's what I'm saying.
Like, what are we gonna do? So that is my only hang up. Might be shoveling it in. I don't know. Also, it might look like I'm using my right hand because of the way that the camera flips it, but this is my left hand.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, like, her camera's flipped. I'm like, she said right hand, but da da da. Anyways, whole point though is I definitely am set in my ways. I'm gonna continue eating how I eat, but it is very interesting that, you know, I'm not the only person that eats with the, you know, the switcherino method. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and look at these comments. By the way, if you guys have anything to say about how we eat, please let me know in the comments down below. Absolutely rip apart my diabolical eating technique. I know it's hard to look at, it's rough around the edges, but it gets the food in my mouth. Okay, you can't be too mad, right? It's not aesthetic, but it does what it needs to do. This might just be a you thing, bestie. It is in fact not just a her thing. It is also a me thing and an American thing. It is a very common way a lot of Americans eat. Not every American, but a lot of Americans. And a lot of Americans do it without even realizing it. That's the crazy thing. So yeah, it's crazy. I don't think it's just a her thing. Our next comment says, I personally think that people who make fun of those who don't know table etiquette are the ones who need to be taught something. Okay. I have a genuine question though. Like what's the purpose of table etiquette? Is it just politeness or something? So you don't come off too aggressive while you're eating? Like what is the purpose of it? Is it genuinely, because as long as you're not splashing food all over the place, it should be fine. It should be fine. But this is a very interesting point of contention because I know I'm not changing the way I eat. I'm feral. I cut up my whole steak, then eat with my fork and my right hand. That's not even feral for real. That's actually like a really cool, like, you know, way to eat your steak. In fact, I went to a steak restaurant here in Korea and they actually cut my steak for me before they served it to me and stuff. Like they cut it for me and stuff like that, served it to me, and it was already in little pieces. I was like, oh, okay, cool. All I gotta do is put my fork in it and eat it. And I loved it. It was super simple. I didn't have to do 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 do. Like it wasn't fancy schmancy. I just had to, like, you know, pick the little piece of steak up and eat it. It was a fancy restaurant though, but they cut the steak for me, so I was like, okay, cool. I do like that. But let me know what you guys think, man. Our dining etiquette in America is absolutely abysmal. We don't really emphasize dining etiquette in a lot of places. Some places do, but again, I think that's typically in wealthier households and stuff like that, and those people to keep those habits for a long time. And then also some people just, like, you know, they learn, but they kind of dump that and find a more efficient way to eat. So I don't know, you guys let me know if it's more efficient to do it your way or the way that you saw us do it. Everybody eats how they eat. I don't think it's a big deal, but some people think it's a massive deal. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll drop more of these videos. Hopefully you guys are thoroughly entertained, and I will see you very soon. Take care. Peace.